Hello and welcome to the streets of downtown Bentonville. This is Downtown Now. I am Aaron Nolan.
I'm Dana Schlegenhaft, and we're joining you from the calm before the storm at First Friday.
7 events that we produce each and every year at First Friday. This year's theme, what is it, Dana?
It is mixtape.
That's why I'm rocking Nirvana.
I'm on the dark side of the moon with Pink Floyd. So put on some of your favorite tunes this season, and we're mixing it up with some great music and great activities downtown.
Before we get to some stories about Bentonville, let's take a look at the sights and the sounds of First Friday, brought to you by our friend, Chandler Harris. No doubt it's important to showcase some of the parties we throw, but it's also important to showcase the heroes living among us.
We're going to tell you a story about a life saved, lives changed, and the value of our local responders.
I remember telling him it had been such a great race. At first I thought I'll walk for a second and I'll be fine, and then I'll finish strong. But after I walked a few steps, I was like, oh, something is really wrong. And then he caught me and he laid me on the ground.
Lying just feet away from the finish line, Mackenzie Clark's heart stopped.
Team responded to a reported patient down. The patient was found to be in cardiac arrest.
So they started CPR and they had to shock me.
And they were able to revive the patient.
A life-altering moment on the pavement became the starting line for Mackenzie's comeback.
I've come down here several times over the last year just to kind of process, and if I sit and really think about what that means, like the fact that I almost, like, this conversation would not be happening. Like, that almost could be a reality. My kids wouldn't have a mom.
With each step of this new journey, Mackenzie won't forget the heroes that saved her.
But I actually got to go meet all of them last summer, all in one room, and that was incredible, to get to say thank you to their face for saving my life.
Everybody processes things differently, and so some people don't want to relive it or don't want to talk about it or don't want to go through it again, and she's been more than happy to do that with our team. And it's been amazing for them to be able to kind of see the results of their action.
I really have no words. Words don't do it justice. Just to say thank you for doing what you know how to do very quickly. They told me we were just doing our job. Like, well, your job made a difference in mine and so many other people's lives.
Despite a near-death experience, this runner will continue to run with a heart full of gratitude, racing toward the final chapter of her comeback story.
So you're running again this year?
I am, April 6th. I would be lying if I said I wasn't a little nervous, but I am ready to actually finish the race, cross the finish line, and say I did it. I feel like, I've been given a second chance at life, and I'm not gonna spend it sitting on my butt. I love to run, and that's what I love to do, and I'm going to get out there and keep doing it.
And as they should, those heroes were awarded with the Hero Award at Mayor Orman's State of the City this year.
Let's shift gears and go to some of the amazing businesses that we have in downtown Bentonville. A lot of times businesses will change, but there is a stalwart on this square, and that business is right behind me.
Time is constant. Time is relentless. But in downtown Bentonville, time has always been on the side of one constant and relentless business, one that got its start 76 years ago.
Dad discovered that this little watch repair shop in Bentonville was for sale. He went up and asked the guy if he wanted to sell it, and if he did, how much would he want to take for it. I think he said $3,000. Dad gave him the money, he gave him the key and walked out and never saw him again.
Randolph and Belle Overstreet were in Northwest Arkansas for a wedding. But after buying a business, Bentonville was soon to become home, not just to the Overstreets, but also their jewelry store.
My dad was a fantastic watchmaker. I don't think he ever got a hold of a watch that he couldn't do something with. He used to say that if he didn't recognize somebody on the street, he would know who they were if he could see the watch on the wrist.
Mr. Overstreet continued working until he was 101 years old. And even at that age, he continued to live life large.
When the surgeon asked him what he thought about having a hip repair done at the age of 101, Dad said, "I'm not through living yet." He was ready to keep on going.
In 1977, Mr. Overstreet's son joined the gym team. That's GEM, the gym team.
Absolutely perfectly cut, so he maximized the brilliance. It's just a great feeling to know that people can depend on us, they trust us.
Since then, Don and his team have continued a family tradition that was born nearly 8 decades ago.
Growing up in Bentonville I didn't appreciate it at the time because it was all I knew, but it was an experience that I've come to find out too many people don't get to have.
And as the clock on the wall continues to tick, with a watchmaker looking down from above, Overstreet's jewelry will be right here, with a diamond, some pearls, or maybe just a golden smile from your friendly neighborhood jeweler.
I'm doing fine. Excuse me. I'm Don Overstreet. I appreciate you coming in, Jim. Oh, yeah. Good to see you again.
We mentioned the State of the City address. The Overstreets won the Key to the City this year, which is a huge honor for such a great business here in downtown Bentonville.
Great local family.
Absolutely.
Great business.
Up next, we sit down with Amazium's Executive Director, Sam Dean. That's this week's Downtown Conversation.
Sam Dean, Founding Executive Director of the Amazium. Thank you for just chilling with me. This is more my speed, this nice log cabin here inside the Amazium.
You know, when we were building the Amazium, people didn't want to leave. People told us they want to remember what the past looked like. Mm-hmm. And I think they had it right. I love having a little porch to relax, have conversations like this with you.
This is a great place to chat. We were watching the kids create the rainbow arch, and those kind of things sometimes aren't instant. They take time. But they showed perseverance, and that's something you teach a lot here at the Amazium.
Yeah, in fact, that's the best time that you're learning is when you're kind of stumped at first. Mm-hmm. If you can figure something out right away, you probably haven't learned a whole lot. You probably already know how to do it. And I think the end was a great example. You watched these moments where kids were having to figure this out, and then it didn't work quite right. And so then you've got to troubleshoot and spend time, and you've got to persevere. You got to have some grit, because the kids could have walked away at any moment, and they stuck through it. And boy, the look on their faces at the end, oh my gosh. I mean, you could just feel that energy and that joy when they finally got it to rainbow up.
Such a transferable skill set, especially in Bentonville and Northwest Arkansas. We have such a entrepreneurial ecosystem. You have to know how to persevere. Businesses aren't built overnight, so it's a great skill to teach your kids in such a fun environment.
Yeah, I mean, learning how to figure it out and not give up. I feel like that's entrepreneurship 101. Mm-hmm. You got to figure it out for yourself, find people to help you, like find a Kobe to help you, and then make sure you stick through to the end.
I wanted to go back to the beginning of the Amazium, and it was also something that took a lot of time and a lot of perseverance. It took almost a decade from the moment. Thank you, Emma. Ooh. Sam, can I offer you an apple?
Oh my gosh, this is a perfect apple. Thank you.
From
Good
the
vintage.
Minute that you guys thought of the idea to have the Amazium, it took almost a decade to have this building here that people could enjoy. Tell us a little bit about how that happened.
Well, in fact, I came in about 8 years after the original ideas happened. And this is what I love. Children's museums get formed around dinner tables. Parents who want to create some amazing moments for their kids, learning moments that are also fun and playful. And this whole project started around dinner tables. And it took a board of directors, it took a group of volunteers who, at every moment where they could have given up, just like with the Nickelodeon end that we had, they persevered, they held events, they raised funds, they got their 501c3, they did all these milestones, and then eventually hired a team. And I was fortunate to be the first executive director to come on board to kind of take the reins and work with the community and with the board to turn this set of plans, what we had was about 20 pages of drawings, into what you see around us today.
And it's a 50,000 square foot museum. It will be getting bigger. What does it take to run something like this? A lot of patience, Sam. But what else aside from patience?
It takes a lot of patience. One of the things, I think one of the secrets of a building like this, a type of learning place like this, is that the building is actually in service of a greater mission. It's about learning, it's about creativity, curiosity, and community are 3 C's. And the first thing is it takes building a great team. And so that what we've done is we put in place an incredible team that has been growing and learning themselves over the last handful of years. It takes a lot of perseverance because sometimes you just don't know what you don't know until you start actually building exhibits, until the guests are invited in to be able to be part of it. So it too takes a lot of grit to kind of run a place like this. The other thing is it takes an amazing community. This community has supported the Amazeum at every turn, at every idea we had. The community has been there to help support it. And that's what I love. It's a place not just for the community, but it's been by the community.
The community supported you all through a really interesting pivot for all of us when we had to navigate COVID. You have a hands-on museum that had to stop everything for a little while. But I remember even going to the Ungala, where we're driving through and picking up boxes to bring home and tinker at home. You guys navigated that in a really unique way, and it shows perseverance and creativity. What was those almost 2 years like? Oh
my gosh. We like to forget those sometimes.
It's a whole different lifetime.
It feels like a lifetime ago, I hope. Yeah, right. Yeah. Knock on. We have lots of wood around us. I think like everyone, we had to, when we closed our doors March 13th, 2020, we had to figure out what is being a place that's about curiosity, creativity, that's hands-on in nature. What does it mean to do that when the very things that are our strengths we're not able to do together? And we're not sure when we'll be able to do it again. So first thing we did is, we started connecting with our community partners. With no one coming through our door, our funding was in question. So we're able to get partners together to help fund our team to stay in place. Over half the museums around the country had to make different choices with their team and had just really tough times being able to maintain. By being able to maintain our team intact, then we can move, how do we deploy our team in different ways? And so we had our teams doing things like going to Circle of Life and some retirement communities and chalking out in front of places. We launched Amazeum U, a way to do learning and tinkering at home. We did our fundraiser during the pandemic, was all about not being as much around each other, but still being able to play within close proximity. We moved a lot of pieces outside. A lot of it was just a team who said, hey, we can figure this out. It's not a problem that's intractable, but we got to do it together. So we spent time kind of figuring out lots of different ways to play, be hands-on. Even if we couldn't be physically together, we could at least be socially together via technology or outside.
Something I think that's really neat and unique about the Amazeum that maybe not everyone notices is y'all just put your hands out and give the whole community a big hug. You have priceless nights for people that maybe financially can't always visit the Amazeum, and you have sensory-friendly days and nights for people that maybe need to experience the Amazeum in a different way. Tell us about those and how you plan to even maybe expand those in the coming years.
Yeah, I think you hit it right in the head. We can't be about community if we're not for all the community. And so for us, it's a journey of learning. It's a journey of just listening to different, we talk often about community as a singular thing, but we know it's not. It's a collection of communities, and each have their own needs and wants and desires. And financial access is one, so like priceless nights or, the thousands of passes we give away for Amazeum for All are one mechanism. Having bilingual signage is another one, and sometimes trilingual materials. We know language barriers can be another one. Sure. So we're going to continue having listening sessions with communities of all different types and backgrounds here. and making sure that we're both accessible and welcoming to all. Now, it also means we need to age up a little bit. So we're going to look at different audiences, like working more with teens and adults. In fact, as the museum is looking to make its changes, the space may change and reflect some of experiences for teens and adults getting kind of dirty with their hands in a shop environment or in an exhibit hall.
As an adult, I will say that the adult nights here are fantastic. It's super fun to get a babysitter and stay at home and come explore the Amazeum with your husband or spouse or good friends. So that's something I hope you keep because we enjoy those. So you are, I don't want to say you're growing up because it's not fun to grow up. The Amazeum is growing just bigger, expanding. Tell us a little bit about some of that.
Yeah, Tom Waits, I don't want to grow up.
No,
right?
we don't want to grow up.
We don't, because play is how we want to learn through our lives. But we know that more people need more opportunities to play. So, the Amazeum, we need more space. So we're going to be looking to expand, and we're looking to bring a community-based maker space as part of it. We know teens and adults have incredible capacity to be able to imagine ideas, and now we want to be able to put the tools and the mentorship in hands to be able to make those ideas come to life. We know we want to do more science and technology-rich experiences, more STEM-rich experiences, so we'll be increasing galleries. In our work with teachers, we need more classroom space so that we can work with kids and adults at the same time. As it is now, we end up having to choose which audience we're working with on a given day based on the space that we have.
What is, just to end this, if kids have never been here or if they have, what's Sam's pick for the best thing to do within the Amazeum? I know it's hard, but if you said you have to come here and do my favorite thing, what's your favorite thing?
I am horrible at this pick your favorite thing game, so I'm going to try. Because what you need to do is come and explore and be ready to come back. I think if you have an extra set of clothes, you should definitely go into the water area. You're going to get a little wet, but it's going to be worth it. And if you're over 7, go into our tinkering hub, because we're going to put tools in your hand. We're going to introduce you to some explorations that you probably haven't seen before. And it's going to inspire you to then try some things at home.
The water is my favorite too. It's the best.
Yeah. Once you know that if you got kids,
Yep.
bring some extra clothes and you're good to go.
Let them run around outside afterwards. They'll dry. They'll be fine. All right, Sam, I'm going to sit here and enjoy this delicious red apple and enjoy this beautiful cabin. Thank you for joining us, and thanks for letting us explore the Amazeum today.
Thanks for coming out. This is fun to be able to play with you and Team Amazeum today.
Yes, and Downtown Bentonville Incorporated, you're one of our favorite partners to work with, so we appreciate you and can't wait to work with you in the future.
Yeah, likewise. Come on back anytime. We'll figure out a new Nickelodeon End kind of thing to explore.
Yes, we'll do it.
After the break, we are going on a crawl around downtown Bentonville, but maybe not one you expect.
No, it's a crane crawl, and that's next. We're now joining you from the top of the Ledger parking garage, but I'm looking for Aaron.
My bad. I gotta leave the stage and jump into the screen here on top of the parking garage. You know, Bentonville is known for progress. We like to build things, we like to construct things. We got a lot of cranes. In fact, late last year, Bentonville had more cranes per capita than Boston, LA, Chicago, New York City. We had one crane for every 6,500 residents.
Quite a stat.
It is.
We like to go on crawls in downtown Bentonville. We've got beer crawls, we've got coffee crawls, but we got a new one. We're gonna take you on a crane crawl. Get your
hard hat enabled.
Let's go.
Let's ride. Wow, Dana, this is like a work of art.
Yeah, it's one of the most beautiful museums in the world.
No, I was talking about the cranes. They're artistic cranes.
Let's take a moment.
Soak it in. Well, this looks like a cool spot.
No, Aaron, it's awesome.
Oh yeah. Good job.
Whee! Well, I think we need to move on to the next stop on the crane crawl. Woo!
Are they all that tall?
She's a beauty. We've reached the end, and this one's a big one. This is the grand finale.
The Walmart home office, the brand new one in New York City, 1 crane for every 1.5 million people. In Chicago, 1 crane for every 300,000 people.
Okay.
In Bentonville, 1 crane for every 6,500 people. That is something else. And that's a wrap for this edition of Downtown Now. I'm Aaron Nolan.
I'm Dana Schlagenhaft. We'll see you in downtown Bentonville. Turn up the mixtape.
Let's go! I want to go dance.